I'm going to bring her forward. See, this is what I'm going to be doing inside that trailer, forward and backward. So she's moving to her left, so I'm going to start correcting that. So I'm going to move her over to the right, my left. Good morning, I'm Luke Brown and welcome to Reata Horsemanship, and this is a trailer loading session with Ellie. She's back here in the trailer. You can hear her pawing, and Ellie is a 4-year-old mare that came to me for this session specifically, and her biggest issue is not being able to back out of the trailer. So I wanted to do this video to show you how to teach a horse to back out of a trailer if they really struggle with backing out of the trailer. I say this often, and that is when the most challenging trailer loading horses are ones that have a difficulty backing out of the trailer. It's a lot easier to get your horse into the trailer than it is to back them out. And you want to be able to back your horse out of a trailer because you never know what kind of situation you might be in where you have to back your horse out of the trailer. Ellie apparently is in a habit of turning around and walking out forward out of the trailer. So we want to change that habit and get her where she can also back up out of the trailer. So that's what we're going to do today. Now I'm just going to interview the owner real quick and see what she has to say about her horse and what she wants to get accomplished today.
Hi, I'm Nikki. I'm Ellie's owner, and I've had her for about a little under a month, I believe, right now. She's a 4-year-old Appaloosa, so I've been working with her. The main thing she's doing in the trailer is she wants to turn around and jump out, and she hasn't been super aggressive or dangerous about it. She's not getting nervous trying to back out. She's just planting her feet and refusing to move them. But I do recognize, because I've had a horse turn around and knock me down in the trailer before, so I recognize the potential of danger here. And so while she's young, I want to get this habit out of her, and I would like her to just back out of the trailer nice and calmly. So that is kind of the goal for today, is to hopefully get her moving her feet back in the trailer. Hope. Hope. Hope.
Pretty predictable though. Okay. Some people get embarrassed by what their horse does, but this actually gives me great footage. And then we'll help her.
Yeah.
Okay, now go ahead and load her and then try to back her out. Got a wee bit sweaty in there, huh?
Yeah.
She's pretty, man. Go on.
Good girl. Hey, take a breath. Take a breath. Good girl. Good girl. That's about what she does, and then
That's about as far as she'll get.
that's about as far as she'll get.
Okay, so go ahead and unload her like you normally do.
I got greedy. Right there, right there. The good thing about her is she doesn't, because she was nervous. So this is usually what I do, is I'm like, hey, you stay there. You stay there. You let me do it. This is the way I've done it in the past. So she doesn't normally come at me like that.
Yeah.
This is how she normally is, and then she waits to be asked to come out of
It was that door or the
It was
slider.
It's because she just stood in there so long that she was like ready to get out.
Gotcha.
Which is good to know that that was her reaction to being.
Yeah.
anxious and standing there, but that's normal. She normally turns around and waits for me to like ask her to turn.
Okay,
So
cool.
that's why I'm like, she's never been dangerous, that she almost knocked me down.
So she obviously has some issues with feeling panicked inside the trailer. Then she is kind of claustrophobic. She escaped out of the trailer. She did better the second go around where she got out, and it wasn't quite as much of an escape. When she got in, she didn't really escape too much. Just that aggressive move, you know, that jump.
Yeah.
All right, the first thing I'm going to do before I even try to work on trailer loading is I'm going to make sure that she can back up out of my space and do a little bit of groundwork. So I'm just going to use the flag today. If the flag isn't effective enough, I'll go to the stick and string. I do have that close to me. But right now we'll just try the flag. So you see I'm bumping to get her to back up out of my space, and she wasn't given to me. There she gave it. I'm going to release the pressure. I'm going to see if I can get her a lot lighter in her backup. So if you want a horse to be able to back easily out of a trailer, they have to be comfortable backing outside of a trailer. So anywhere on the ground, anywhere you're at, they should be able to very lightly back out of your space. And if they don't, then that's the first thing to work on. You think about what they're doing in the trailer and repeat that or copy that on the ground before you try it in the trailer. Because once they get in the trailer, it's always going to be more challenging, right? So I'm just using a light bumping with this halter, with this lead rope. I'm just up and down like this, and if she doesn't respond, get a little firmer, get a little firmer. And that's basically the only thing I'm going to work with. This is the only cue I'm going to give her to get her to back up. Now I'm going to use a steady backing technique too, what I call the ice cream cone method, but I'll show you that in a little bit. But this right now, I'm going to teach her to back with me and also to back out of my space. Gets a little distracted by the horses in the field. Good. Now I'm going to bring her forward. She's starting to approach that fence. Now she's not real close to the fence, but sometimes even 20 feet away from the fence might add a little pressure to her. So I'm just going to increase that distance from the fence and back her up again. Some people will try to back right into a fence when they're first learning to back, and they're just going to have a hard time doing that. There's a good step. Now, I'm not going to get after her too much about looking over, but I am going to bump on her just a little bit, make that slightly uncomfortable if she's not paying attention to me. We want focus and movement. Then I'll try not to run over your GoPro. We might have to put that somewhere else.
Yeah.
So start light, get heavier. So I'm already starting to get into the refinement stage of this backing lesson. So concept stage is I start really light, build very slowly, get heavier, get heavier, get heavier until she moves. Release the pressure, start light again, get heavier, a little heavier, wave it a little bit harder until it gets hard enough where she wants to do something different, and then release the pressure. Now, most likely this session is going to create some wear marks on her nose. So she's going to get a little bit of a rope burn from that halter on her nose. When a horse is really resistant to movement, or they're not real soft laterally or vertically, they might get rope burned a little bit. Good. So she's getting a little lighter there. So if you notice, I'm holding the flag in my left hand, and I'm holding the tail of the lead rope in my left hand as well. And that way I can use this flag if I need to, and the rope's off of the ground. This is just for this specific backing technique. So now I'm going to get more into the refinement stage of this backing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lightly move my hand and then get much heavier, much quicker. Now I'm not getting crazy heavy, but just enough, or crazy firm, but just enough to get her to move. Good, I like that. Good girl. There I got heavier faster, or firmer faster. Here's firmer. Bring her forward. So I really couldn't care less about the trailer right now. I'm very focused on one thing at a time, and right now that thing is I want her to lightly back up. So she'll give me 2 steps, but then she loses focus. I want her to give me a few more. Good girl. See, this is what I'm going to be doing inside that trailer, forward and backwards. So I want her to be really light on the ground first. Much better. Good girl. Good girl. You'll find the better she gets at this, the more focused she's going to become. So it all kind of comes together. She moves better. She's licking and chewing there. Good girl. So one of the reasons why a horse will seem kind of bothered and then they'll get real relaxed, one of the reasons is they learn to follow my lead. So as they start to figure out what I'm asking them to do, then they start to relax because they know what's expected of them. And there's no surprises. So this is all I'm expecting of her. Just move those back feet, or move those feet backwards. Good girl. So you got to be really focused when you're riding that horse on the trail, huh? You have to be her eyes. Yeah, and we'll one of the keys to getting that corrected is getting her to learn to be very light backing up. If you can get her to learn to be very light backing up, then her shoulders moving away from you is much easier. So you see that I'm backing her with me. It's from a distance. Got a little stiff there. It's from a distance, but we're going together. So first we're going to go together, then I'm going to ask her to move away from me. So I want her good with both of those. Now, when I ask her to come back towards me, she keeps moving to her left. So I'm going to start correcting that. So I'm going to move her over to her right, my left, and start again. I might switch hands just to practice. Good girl. That's pretty good. Now I'm going to ask her with the ice cream cone method, I'm going to ask her to back up with steady pressure. Make sure she can do that. She gets a little stiff. I'm going to start to push down on that halter. Good girl. Bring her with me. Ask her to back. So if I feel some resistance, I'm going to work that halter left to right so she feels some pressure. But it's steady pressure left and right. I used to bump, sometimes I bump down like this, and that's how I used to teach it, but I'm starting to actually move left to right like this as to give her enough pressure to try to find a way out of it. Good girl. Pretty good. She's getting a little stiff on me, so I'm just going to add pressure. And as soon as she speeds up, go back to my neutral. So my neutral position when I'm asking her to back is just picking up slightly on that halter. Then if I need to add pressure, I start to wave back and forth. Good girl. Now, she's almost to the point where I can open up my hand on that halter. If I don't have to, I want to be able to open up my hand and ask her to back up. There, I close my hand, open up my hand. I want her to be light enough to back up off of an open hand. that shows that I'm not having to push very hard. I'm not cheating. If I open my hand, oh, that is beautiful. Very good. Okay, third, well, those are 2 ways to get her to back with me. Now I'm going to back her out of my space. So I'm going to drop this flag here. I want to back her out of my space, so I'm going to wiggle right there. So I'll wiggle, go to a wave, maybe get a step or 2 more. Good girl. Draw her back in. Now I like that she came in almost directly to me instead of drifting to her left. Good. Good gal. A little heavier. I say that all the time, and it reminds me of you every day. Okay, wiggle. Good girl. That's how they say it in Colorado. Good girl. Good gal. That's how they say it in Australia. Good gal. Good. So I'm a little bit hyper-focused on backing because this is where she really struggles, is backing off that trailer. So I want to make sure she gets really good at backing away from me and backing with me. Shift to the left. That's really good. I raised my elbow and she got out of my space. It's really good. Licking and chewing. I'm going to let her sit for a second there. Now while she's resting there, because I've been using this lead rope to ask her to move, I might do a little desensitizing with this lead rope. Just see how she handles the lead rope up over her head. Always trying to take advantage of the moments I have with the horse. And sometimes taking advantage of the moment is just letting your horse sit and be still. But why not desensitize a little right now? Anytime I use a tool or an aid to get my horse to move, then I'm going to use that same tool or aid to get my horse to relax. So here I'm using it to move. Now if I wiggle and wave and she doesn't respond, I'm going to jerk down. Wiggle, wave. She's responding, but I just wanted to show if she's not responding to the wave. So the little wiggle, perfect. Very good. So you can see that rope just wiggling a little bit. That's where I want her to, that's the pressure I want her to move off of. Got a little distracted. Good girl. Now, if I were pulling to ask her to come forward and she just sat on that for a little while, let's say she resisted coming forward for maybe 10 seconds or something, then I would pull her off balance. Sometimes pulling forward, a horse will just lean on that for quite a while. And I just don't like him to lean on it for too long. So if they lean on this halter, if I asked her to come forward and she were to lean on that, then I would pull her off balance, off of the line of her body. So pull her either right or left. Back her up right here. Good girl. That's quite a bit better coming towards me. I got more firm there with the wave. All the way to the end of my rope. So it's still a little more wiggle than I wanted, but that was really good that she went all the way back. She kept moving. Good girl. Get more firm. So I like her. She's a sensitive horse, so she's a horse that learns really quickly and doesn't get very dull. Oh, that was much better. I can't end on a note like that. If she is slowing down, if I stop my cue when she's slowing down, then I'm going to teach her to be more dull. I want to make sure she's got good energy in her feet. At least it's fluid and consistent. If she slows down, I'm going to add pressure until she's moving more fluidly and faster with more energy. One mistake we often make, all of us do this, is we'll be getting something good. We'll be getting her to back out of our space, and then she starts to slow down, and then we stop our cue. We want to stop our cue when she's either speeding up or staying nice and fluid with her motion. Beautiful. I'm satisfied with that. Okay, I'm going to desensitize some with this lead rope. Because when I'm in the trailer, I'm going to be asking her with pressure with the lead rope and also with the flag. Flag first, but lead rope after she gets good with the flag. Let's back her up a little bit. So I want to make sure she's not reactive to this lead rope or the flag out here outside the trailer. If she's reactive to that flag or this lead rope outside the trailer, I'm going to work on that until she gets good about it, until she's relaxed to it before I start working in the trailer. Back her up a little bit. Good girl. So this is desensitized to rest with the lead rope. If you guys are watching this video and you haven't seen my Desensitizing Secrets Masterclass, make sure you go check that class out. That is a class that I teach you how to teach your horse to be desensitized to things like the flag, the stick and string, and the lead rope, and your hands. So now I'm going to work on some lateral flexion here. I want to make sure she can laterally flex without moving her feet. So you'll see an overall theme, and that is getting my horse soft, supple, and responsive, and relaxed at the same time. Good girl. Good girl. That time she reached all the way over to her girth. That's what I'm looking for. Good girl. Teaching a horse to stand still and flex laterally will really help them not be less claustrophobic inside the trailer. For horses that are very claustrophobic, lateral flexion at the standstill can be really challenging. I had a Mustang once that took me a month to get to where she'd laterally flex to this point. That was the most challenging Mustang as far as sensitivity and claustrophobia I've ever had. She didn't buck, she was just real claustrophobic. Good. Good girl. I'm going to now work on the hindquarter yield here. So I want her to stay bent, yield the hindquarters. Not getting that yield there is a good yield. Good girl. Rub up, reach up there and rub on her. Let's do it again. Beautiful. One more time. I'm looking for lateral softness and a yield. So I want her bent and then yielding the hindquarters. Right now that's really good. She does pick up really quickly. Okay, I'm gonna work on the lateral flexion from this side. Now as I asked her to come forward, she kind of leaned into me a little bit, so I bumped her away with my palm. When you go to do lateral flexion, make sure you reach back here and touch the flank. Make sure she's not reactive to you being here, because this is where I like to stand, right at her flank. That way she doesn't step on me, or is less likely to step on me as she starts to move when I'm laterally flexing. Most horses are worse at this on their right side, mostly because they've had humans on the left side most of their life. So they're a little more nervous and don't bend quite as well. And most people are right-handed, so they're going to be on the left side. They're going to turn left more easily when they're riding. It's more awkward to turn right and go into a right lead if you're right-handed. Wait for her. Good. So I release and then rub on her a little bit. Maybe I'll shift her hips over so the camera can see. Stand still where the camera can see you. There we go, right there. Yeah. She likes to show off her butt. It is a cute butt. Oh, that's really good. You've been working on lateral flexion with her?
I'm just in the saddle.
Okay.
I honestly haven't tried it.
Uh-huh. No, I mention it because she's actually pretty good. Like, she didn't take her much to figure it out.
Yeah, that's the first thing I do when I get on her, is I get in the saddle and I laterally flex.
Yeah, that's why she knows it. And now we're doing it in a halter. Good. So that was counter flexion. She's doing really good. Let's see if we can get her to do a full turnaround, see if she's reactive to that rope on her legs. Oh, sure. Why don't we just do that right now?
She's just blinking and I was like, it looks like there's a lot of flies on her. I don't. For the camera, you just guys got sensitive eyes. There you go.
She has a pretty sweet personality. She really does.
I like her a lot. She's gonna come along really well and working pretty easily. I think she's gonna be great.
Okay, I'm asking for that full turnaround. I like to do that after I do counter flexion. Just make sure she can turn around and relax. Stay bent through that turn. Come back to this side. Now let's go to counter flexion. So I like to counter flex to the other side to make sure she doesn't feel claustrophobic seeing me out of her off eye. Wait for her. Good girl. So she doesn't flex quite as well to that side, but she's still got the concept. Okay, do a full turnaround. Just gonna wait on her. There she comes. Good girl. Good. So now we're here at this cement pad, and I'm just gonna back her. It goes downhill, so that we got the flat pad, kind of like a trailer, and then downhill like it's off the trailer. So I'm just gonna work on backing her with me at first, and then away from me secondly. So I worked on it on the flat ground. Now I'm gonna see if I can back her off of something. There are lots of different ways you can do this, but the more you can kind of mimic what the trailer is gonna feel like, the easier this backing off the trailer is gonna get. So she backed off pretty good there.
good with it.
She backs down hills good? Cool.
Every once in a while she'll move side to side to kind of get away from the pressure.
Uh-huh.
She never like refuse to back down a hill.
She's never locked up like she does in the trailer. Yeah.
But maybe it's because that's when she would step left or right. She can't really do that in the trailer.
So I'm going to try to get her to where she'll back nice and lightly and straight. When we get in the trailer, she'll try to get crooked. And I'm not too concerned in the trailer about her getting crooked as long as I can get her back up at first. It's baby steps. This is baby steps. Be a little resistant. Good girl.
And why did you switch to the driveway?
So I switched to the driveway so that I could mimic the trailer a little bit. So this is like the trailer bed, and dropping off the driveway is like dropping off the trailer bed.
Oh, okay.
So it's just changing the surface a little and the angle. So now we're actually backing flat and then downhill. So it's like 10% of what the trailer is, right? But it's a start. It's something that just gives her a little more education before we try doing it in the big ring. Come on over here, gal. Back her up. I'm going to correct the crookedness there. So over in this corner, the drop-off is a little steeper, and she's a little more resistant to backing up right here. Good. See her tendency to go left when she comes forward. Good.
Send me the footage of me getting covered in the trailer.
Heck yeah.
I want to review it.
Yeah.
I react so, like, without thinking, and I want to watch it again. Because I don't know if what I did was right or not. I just like protected my face.
Yeah, whenever, I think I learned this, I think Josh Lyons said this once. He said, when you're in the middle of a wreck, you get out of the way and let it happen. Just get out of the way. People will try to get in there and fix what's going on when the horse is in complete reactive mode. You cannot fix what's going on when they're in reactive mode. You'll only make it worse, and you'll put your life in danger.
My husband's done that, and I screamed at him.
Yeah.
And then I was tilted. And I was like, you will die. Like jumping into a dog fight.
Yeah.
Like, you'll get hurt.
Yeah, let them fight it out. You got to just let them do their thing, and then same.
Afraid. I didn't want to be between the trailer wall and that trailer door that's one.
Yep.
So I just remember like tucking and ducking.
Yeah, the divider, and we'll talk about that when I get in there, about that divider and kind of just paying attention to that. I was a tad worried when you were opening that divider that people get slammed between the divider and the side of the trailer.
It like slides in and out, so I slid it in, so at least if she did panic, it was shorter.
Yeah.
And get caught in it as easy.
That's exactly what I thought when you were doing it. I'm like, yeah, at least you have that slider that makes it shorter. See, people might think that this is going to make her irritable, or I'm just doing this too much, but you really can't do this too much. As long as you're asking with lightness, you're asking lightly, and then you build as much pressure as necessary, and you keep working on this I could do this literally for the next 30 minutes and make her a much, much lighter and more responsive horse. She's already been rubbed on her nose with that halter. Ooh, that was beautiful. So right there was like just about as perfect as I want it, where she backed off super lightly and straight. So I'm going to give her a little break there. Good girl. Okay, now I'm going to ask with steady pressure, that ice cream cone method. I want to make sure nothing bad was going on over there. Some new friends, huh? Yeah. Uh-huh. She's telling me she's not 100% with me yet, right? It could take some horses it takes a couple days, some horses a couple weeks, some horses a couple months to get them to where they feel completely comfortable with me and they're not worried about other horses. Right now she's real worried about the other horses. Not worried, but just interested. But that's a sign that she's not paying attention, 100% attention to me, because she's looking over there and calling out to him. Rip is handsome? Yeah, he is.
That's what she's talking to.
She's like, ooh la la.
That boy is my age. He's the cute and he's cute.
Now I'm working on just backing her out of my space. Remember, wiggle. If wiggle is all I need, I'll just keep wiggling as long as she moves. If she starts to stop, I'm going to start to wave, go back to wiggle. Good girl.
What's the third one? Wiggle, wave,
Whack.
whack.
If I have a stick, I say wiggle, wave, whack. But if I don't have a stick, it's wiggle, wave, jerk. So I'm wiggle, wave, and then I'll jerk down like this to add more pressure. Pay attention.
Can we keep in an explanation or like?
What's that?
Can we keep in the explanation or add an explanation of like why I opened and untied her the way I did? Because I feel like a lot of people would be like, oh, like if you just leave her tied, she won't turn at you like that. She can make her head.
Absolutely.
That's not a safe situation and not particularly trailer. I don't know if it is in any trailer.
Yeah, if a horse feels claustrophobic in there and they're tied and you open up the door, you're setting yourself up for an accident. I would rather them be untied and fly out of the trailer than tied. Try to fly out, get stuck, and just freak out, throw their head into the ceiling, fall down, hurt somebody.
And in that particular case, like if she had stepped back while she was tied, that trailer for short.
She might have stepped off.
She could have stepped off, and then there would be very little I could do without hurting myself or putting her at higher risk.
Yeah, and I actually left my knife inside, or it's over in the shed. I don't have it on me. I have my recorder in my pocket, so I took my knife out. But you know, you might have to cut a rope. Pay attention.
So do you like using the tie blocker in the trailer?
So I like using a blocker tie ring in a trailer for the purpose of if they should slip and fall down. But it doesn't help if they step back. Maybe it helps a little bit, but they're still going to whack their head on top of the ceiling. Right there. Do you see how I moved her shoulders over? I tried to get the shoulders over and she went forward. So I just backed her up and kept pressure until she moved that front end over. Yeah, you were frustrated about that yesterday, but guess what? You probably took her through most of it. And now I'll reap the benefits. I'll be like, what are you talking about? She's really good at this.
That's where it is. Like, she was getting dangerous on top of me. She's a good girl. She's got a really good head.
Okay, I'm going to back her past the trailer, and then I'm going to do the lead beside exercise with the flag. And then we'll be close to being ready. So now I'm just going to exaggerate my backing up and just work on backing her up. Now, if I may not ask her to back all the way. I may ask her to back a few steps, and then I'm going to rub on her and then start again. The longer you ask them to do something, the more likely it is that they're going to start to get it wrong. So make sure that that you end on a good note, that they're getting it right before you stop. So right there, that back is beautiful. She's about 95% until that. Okay. Now we're going to work on, I'm going to work on some lunging actually. Get those shoulders to move over. I'm going to lunge her a little bit. So again, I'm just using a flag instead of my stick and string. Let's see if we can get it all done with the flag here. I won't lunge her too much, just a little bit. Make sure she can change directions.